Hello there, welcome back to the Ogre, the old Git Reacts, Reviews and Off Times Reminisces. Today doing Fen. Now, somewhere back in the mists of time and in the gloom of my attic, I have one of the early Fen albums. Excuse me. And strange really, the sort of band that I have to be in a very, very specific mood to listen to. And those sort of moods don't come very often, and so albeit I do listen to any new output just in case something sparks, they are an occasional listening to me, and so when this latest album came out, very much did the same thing. Clicked on it. There's 3 sample tracks at the moment on the Bandcamp page. Expecting to go, yeah, not bad, but no, not for me. And pleasantly surprised was I that all 3 of those sample tracks kept my attention sufficient that when the album drops proper, which, looking at the date, will be probably around the time this video drops, that I may well buy this in its entirety. So, nice pleasant surprise. Let's have a listen to Wracked, and I might waffle on as we go along as to why it's tickled me enough to be intent on buying the whole thing. Anyway, where's the button? There's the button. Let's go. So first impressions when I heard this were that it's quite an insistent little number. It's got some punch to it. Now, I think with Fen, as on the whole, that their music isn't something I don't enjoy. It's just it's not my thing particularly, and so they have to do their music in a certain way for me to for it to appeal fully, and so whilst I like tracks on an album, I've not yet liked a whole album enough to buy it. That's no criticism at all. It's just my thing is different to their thing. Although there are, if you had a Venn diagram, that there would be a bit in the middle where the arcs cross, where we would both be in agreement. So, as I say, pleasantly surprised at the moment with this album that all 3 tracks I've heard do engage with me. So, the Fen are never a linear ride, so that there's always elements that change throughout their songs. And so far with this, the elements presented are all pleasing and engaging, and sort of make me feel a little bit chipper at the moment, which is good. So something about near the beginning there was a short moment of clean singing, and something about that style of clean singing takes me back to my youth, when sort of progressive rock was in its nascency, and it just brings back a nostalgia trip, because although I wasn't exposed to much of it, when I was young and quite very young really, and somewhat disinterested in music, because of my age, it seems that my noggin still embraced and took in aspects of singing like that from bands that were playing on something like the Ogre whistle test or whatever arts program was on the TV. There was only 3 channels in those days, so it didn't happen very often, but nonetheless there's a nostalgia there, and it struck me that that clean singing is done in a way, the interplay between clean singing and harsher singing works with Fen for me in a way that I sometimes struggle with other bands. I listened to the new Enslaved album the other day, and although there was aspects that I quite enjoyed, they do things in a similar vein to what Fen are doing here, but for some reason it just doesn't gel with me in the way that this ought to have done on this occasion. You've got to have an ooh at some point or another. So clearly there was a more rapid section at the beginning of the song, which always delights, and then they've gone back to the storytelling, and that's the bit that has to be rich enough to keep me with a band, and here Fen are doing just that. There's a drama there. There's peaks and troughs. And talking of peaks and troughs, it does make me chuckle looking at the album cover here, which is obviously a mountain range. And of course, Fen, for those that know them, hail from the least mountainous place in the UK. It's flatter than the flat thing where they come from. But yes. Plenty of event in this, and enough to keep you engaged if, like me, you prefer the faster stuff, which they have provided. And because I've heard this track before, I know there's some more to come, which gives me a little giggle of anticipation. before it clatters on, I suppose I ought to mention the progressive aspects of Fen. I often see a moniker tags on metal bands and black metal bands saying progressive black metal or what have you, and sometimes you nod sagely going yes, I agree there, and sometimes you're going that's stretching it a bit, and sometimes you sort of agree there's a few progressive elements to a band's sound, but I think it is fair to say that Fen are progressive black metal, amongst other, I mean, quite atmospheric as well, I guess, although atmospheric means something different to me, but definitions, of course, are always open to interpretation anyway, so but I'll go with progressive black metal here, and on that basis, my preference of any music, any metal music or punk music or grindcore or any music like that, is I prefer it to be murky. I'm not fussed about a decent production and a clear one, but I have to say that the production that Fen have with their music, it has to be fairly clear and has to be fairly well done, otherwise I think the music would suffer, whereas a lot of stuff I listen to, a poor production enhances, not a poor production as such, but a raw production, a rawer production. Yeah. So there you go. Thoroughly enjoyed that. Obviously, Fen have been going some time now, and I do find myself with a lot of bands thinking to myself, the bands that have been going some time, that's it. Give it up. Move on to something else. Quit whilst you're ahead. No, no, stop now. Stop. No, you're getting boring. No, same old shit. Oh no, what are you doing? And there are quite a number of bands that I just stopped listening to because they just bore me shitless really after they've lost their spark, and if they just moved on and did something else, I'm sure they'd be brilliant again, or in a new entity be brilliant again. But Fen are one of those bands that seem to me to be getting better with age. Thoroughly enjoyed that, and as I say, the 3 songs off the album I've heard, I've enjoyed all of them. So when the whole thing drops, if they're all of a similar calibre, I think I'll put my money hands in my pocket again, rather. Anyway, top notch. Click your box if you want. Catch you next time. Cheerio.